Hello boys, my name is Yoshi. You probably wonder what I'm doing back in this game despite there being a clear setup. Well, as you learn from, well, the cold-hearted truth in our setup, you'll learn that we finished the game because we like went to here and like fixed the area setup. So you're probably wondering what I'm doing back in the game after a while. Well, as you know, we didn't actually technically get the full true 100%, although I'm pretty sure the challenges doesn't change anything. Once we go back, we can't go back.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, and we do get teleported back, so we can't even go back there. But yeah, as you can see, we're kind of stuck in a limbo loop. No matter what we do, we can't exit into the area, but if you look at challenges, you'll see that we're still missing 2 of them, specifically Max Mix Vortex Expert and Do It Yourself. And this is what I wanted to show you. I will say, if you are going to play the game more like this, then you better make sure that you do this before fighting the final boss. Make sure you do that. Also, this is the final title screen in case you haven't noticed. This is basically a reward for beating the game, but you might have noticed we did destroy the City Tree and do all the other shenanigans, but there was a few problems, the main ones being we didn't actually cover all the challenges. That's what I'm going to show off in this bonus episode. In this bonus episode, I'm going to show off the best ways to do the special challenge, and as you saw, we did proceed to the end of the game, so if for some reason something weird happens, I will make it set up a little bit better. And also, I'm going to set a separate save for this. And I'll just keep spamming the same save until I'm done. But I'm not going to show too much of this off. In fact, I'll probably be skipping most of the grind. So, basically, I wanted to show you guys how you would do the final 2 challenges. Since technically, we haven't gotten 100% yet. But as far as I'm aware, the ending doesn't change should you happen to do all challenges. If for some reason it does change, there are probably other videos you can watch with it. But I guess I technically didn't do 100%. The reason why I waited, to be fair, is I thought this game had an end game. Sometimes games have an end game. You wouldn't know going from me up to, like... You'd think some of these games would have an end game and thus a lot of other stuff to do. But anyway, with that joke out of the way, how would you beat the save easily if you were in the end game part? Normally I mentioned how you can just keep going to the weaker areas and defeating enemies there. Well, if you happen go too late, then whenever you go back, every single enemy that you try to meet will actually be glommed normally. Well, I'll just show you. So we'll start a battle with this guy. There is one more, because there is actually one more way we can do this. If we go back to this very first area, we can see these guys are still level 1. So the reason why I'm showing that off is because if we were to go to Rumble Island, the enemies would actually be level 40, and they would actually kind of screw us over. So why are we going here? Well, that's because one of the challenges we need tasks us with beating tons of enemies without equipping any gear at all. So to make this simple, we'll just remove all of our gear. So we'll have no boosts whatsoever. Attacks will seem a little weak at first, but trust me, it'll work out. If you are going to do this, make sure you make a save before you start this initially. It can be a bit risky, and I also do recommend you save often if you are doing the riskier version I'm about to show you. Otherwise, you could very well die and things will get messed up. As for what you do after that, it's actually incredibly simple. As you might have noticed, this one area you still can fight enemies from the very first part of the game, and here's how we're gonna actually beat them now. To make this simple, we'll just remove all of our plugs except for a couple of plugs that help boost our offense with jump this time, because this time we want to use mostly jump and attack. So we'll use our Dizzy, Fire, Ice, and attack boost combo for the first part, and for our last bit, we're gonna throw in Glom Guard. You definitely do not need this for the strat. I just like it as a safety net, and whenever you face the later enemies, you can also rotate Protectus if you think it's a little dangerous, but other than that, it's actually fairly simple. All you do is tap them one at a time. If you want to make this go faster, you can just kind of slam, and probably the fastest way of doing this from here is either jump on an enemy if there's more than one, or you do this instead. Basically, charge around the area. Looking around for these basic baddies that we see at the very start of the game. And try to either jump or take them out. If you jump on them right away, that should take them out right away. Even with no gear, you'll be able to do that. This only works at the start of the game. Now, if we were doing the more easier strategy, we could have done this at the very start of the game before we even began. We could have just been grinding the basic enemies over and over again whenever we got to Shell, and we would have been able to make this work. But the reason why we waited is because if we didn't have enough trouble, we simply weren't going to take them out otherwise, so it was not going to be fun. So that's why we waited until now to do it, because if we try to do it now, it'll simply not work. Probably wonder why I haven't skipped out the other stuff. Well, in addition to showing off the Evermix strategy, I still need to use Max Mix Vortex a couple of times, and unfortunately we cannot use that setup properly, at least in an easy way. Now I know about. And also, because of the enemy respawns, it actually takes quite a long time to respawn, so you're probably wondering, how do you actually loot this?
It's a call.
You cannot do the basic setup anymore, because, like, the enemies got thrown back to level 40 all of a sudden. Well, thankfully, you should still be able to beat them, and alternatively, you could just overgrind, and eventually you'll be able to take them out in one hit, but it's probably not worth it, so instead, that's why I put on Glom Guard. The idea is by setting this up, we may still be able to at least get close to one-shotting certain enemies. It's not going to be easy, obviously. We're probably not going to take out any enemies, let's be honest. But basically, all you need to really do is just make sure you save constantly. Every single time. Make sure you do that constantly. So, if I had, like, one thing to take from us is maybe make an extra save before the next part, but then you also won't have access to stuff, so I don't know. Anyway, if you must grind in a different spot, then this is the other strategy you can do. That is basically, you go back to this area instead. Well, use a basic attack on it first.
Oh yeah.
This is all without any gear whatsoever. We'll still go back to Rumble Island, but this time we'll be actually using our special attacks. In fact, ideally we just want to use that plug attack, or if you're not good, like, probably the safer bet is to use either Green Shell, and hope that takes it out with Luigi attack. Otherwise, this attack, if you're good at that. And then for Mario, you'll probably just want to use either your red shell if there's one enemy, or Yoshi if there's more than one. That's because the Yoshi attack should be more than enough to deal with them. If for some reason you think they're not going to live through that, you can also choose to go with, off the top of my head. It's been a while. Believe me, it's been a while since I've talked about this. I think it'll be easier if I just use it, honestly. But yeah, if you use these specific attacks I'm about to show you, you can still clear all the enemies out just fine. They'll just be a little bit trickier. Make sure you jump on all of them, by the way. You do want to do damage initially right off the bat. The big difference is they will not be taken out always right away. So you may have to attack more than once. Oh, that's what it was. Bomb Derby. So yeah, okay. If you ever get a chance, if you think they're gonna or attack, also try using Bomb Derby as well. Bomb Derby is actually slightly faster than you want, but the guilty attack if you want to area attack damage. And to everyone, and also ensure that a single target dies. Because otherwise, stuff like this might happen. And that right there is why we have the Glum Guard, so we can just protect against our attacks. Since you do not have a way to defend against this, it'll be much trickier. But yeah, we're pretty much just gonna go back to these first areas and we're just gonna grind. That literally is all it is. It's actually not nearly as bad as I expected. So as long as you follow this route, it should be pretty easy to honestly take out the enemies. Survive your initial attack, all you need to do is use max mix vortex and they can usually just eat right away. Well, I think they were just slightly off. So I guess that itself, probably not using Bomb Derby is the best idea. The problem is I don't want to go for the attack animation of Nectar, because it is a pretty long attack animation. The only problem is, yeah, some of these enemies can't do that stupid point attack, but, yeah. You can just use that and you'll take them out right away. The reason why we're using actually most of the attacks that we're using right now is because we simply need the achievements for them. Obviously, since we have no gear, we're taking a lot more damage, but because our stats are like endgame, it's almost like as if we just came into this area anyway. So as long as we follow this route, there's quite a few enemies we can clear out to Bumble Island, and then whenever we want to reload, we can either go back to Twisty Island somewhere else, or go back to the very start of the game in that Concordia Island and kill those 3 enemies we did earlier. I recommend doing that as many times as possible, as you'll slam the enemies pretty easily there once you do that. As for speed looking around, all you need to really remember is just make sure you keep moving around as fast as possible. If you do that, you should be able to take out almost any enemy you encounter here in the first area. Because although they are all set to around level 40, these weaker enemies are still the weaker enemies in the game. They've just been updated to have a little bit more power, but they still use the same attacks, so if you know how to deal with them, you should be pretty much alright. The only difficult part is maybe dealing with the damage a bit, but honestly, it doesn't seem that bad. If you're really bad, though, you can save, you can set up your X items, you can set up a bunch of other stuff. Just make sure you have at least good gear. And make sure you come here as well, too. This left side area also has more enemies, and you pretty much just want to do a loop around this area, clearing enemies until they run out. Then you go to guitar and do that, and you pretty much just loop this until you get on the cell. That literally is all there is to it. I'm not gonna say anything else. I will show a few more setups though, mainly when we get the challenge done. Alright, let's try Bomb Derby again. We did not take them out somehow. Somehow it still works. Now so 3 enemies maybe use Yoshi instead, but yeah, see the bomb took them out that time, so that's what you want to do when you're doing this fast. But that's not actually the only strategy you can do. you might have remembered I set up those particular badge combos again. Well, that's because you can also use those as well to take out each individual enemy in a single turn, but in exchange you have to counterattack. This saves you from having to go for the on tap animations and can very well work if you know what you're doing. If you're gonna do this optimally, I recommend doing it when there are only 2 enemies like this. Instead, you can just hit them one at a time. Mario defeats one, and then Luigi can defeat the next, and if for some reason they survive, a counterattack will typically kill them. But you can actually nail it. And occasionally they'll just get dizzied as well. So yeah, that can happen. By the way, there is a chance you won't have to hit that. I just keep getting unlucky that the bomb is triggering. That's the only annoying thing about this. That's actually why we have Gameboy. It's also safety. Because what if we want to use our brother's attacks? We don't want to get glummed and mess those up. So having Glum Guard is mostly just there for the protection. Need it for this grind. It just makes it a whole lot easier. Complete long way, by the way. Alright. Okay, there's... Okay, let's try now. I want to see what that actually does here. I know this looks fun, looks like we're just grinding again, but believe me, there is a reason for this. There's a reason for this all. Okay, only one at a time. So we did get the nodded, but only one at a time, so they're surprisingly tanky. So these guys are actually quite tough. We need a max mix vortex currently with our level to kill them. No, I lose a lot of attack. I think probably the easier stuff now is to use Nectar. That's better than not here too. That might not work. I don't know. It's hard to know. We're pretty much just at one hit left, so we can just barely not take them out. But yeah, they are surprisingly tanky. What's funny is that second one took an attack the face. Looked like he but it did not work. Kind of funny, their counterattack does more damage than their regular attack. That's how different this is. Don't even get to see what their normal attack is. Alternatively, you can skip that counterattack by just letting them attack you first, and they'll just counter themselves. That's another way you can do that. Alright, if I recommend anything though, like I mentioned, you're a bit worried about this part, just make sure you save constantly. Especially after every loop early on. Make sure you heal frequently too. You don't want to take any risks here. Since we're not using our normal HP buds, you may want to heal consistently between turns if you want to save time. Alternatively, you can just put on the auto puds and do it yourself, but even that takes you so far. Well, faster. Honestly, as long as we have the excellent, we should be fine. The main reason we're even using Max Fix Vortex is because we're trying to do this first. I'm determined to not stop this until we get Max Fix Vortex challenge done. Alright. Pop out in a minute. There we go.
Oh yeah!
So we had to do all the side quests before going to ENHA, but we can still do other stuff now that we're done. I think I don't know if there's enemies up here now. Never mind, I'm still in this here. I only now just started doing this, so okay, there's a few enemies here. I think we'll take these out and then we'll be done. Why not jump on them with the ball? Why the heck not at this point? Alright, more of these stupid dudes again. Alright, not even messing around. We're just gonna skip through back since we know for a fact. Instead, we'll try to do that instead. That's not working. That's fine. Let's try Max Mix Vortex now. We still haven't gotten it done, but that's only because we didn't use it as much. Because in the last part, we used some of them in the Medusa battle already. Yeah, this is a locker, but otherwise it's fine. It seems simple enough. So as long as we keep getting action, it's fine. They're still moving. I think they're just incredibly tanky. That's what it is. I think they say they're just incredibly tanky, that's what it is. Okay, we got Max Mix Vortex after it. We actually mashed that and got that. So you can just mash that and essentially get so long as the time to get the attack right. Okay, we got another level up, but that's only because we had this level ready from before. It's still quite fun to level up after Medusa. By the way, I guess there's always the you can get max level here as well, but there's no point in doing that. Alright, well, there we go. We completed the Max Mix Vortex challenge. Now we should be able to just do the fast stuff. Looks like it was still not strong enough. Ideally, what should happen is you should be able to just jump on each enemy one at a time and then counter the other enemy to take it out surprisingly fast. And then you can use maybe Auto Excellent with Dex for certain enemies if you want to. Other than that, again, make sure you have no gear when fighting these guys, otherwise the challenge will not incorporate. So, anyways, we got this, which gave us the Master Hammer, Defense Beam, and vice versa. Oh, we also got the Master Boots as well. And then we have this Latch Stitch Gloves, as well as some blocks we can get for doing the actual final challenge. As for the enemies, we still have quite a bit more to go, unfortunately. So let's charge right into this guy and keep going. I'm still going to show the rest of this video, because I bet you probably want to know what happens after that. Well, it's fairly simple, honestly. It's not really that hard, it's just annoying. Okay, got a review. Should probably use that one. And yeah, that works. Alright, that definitely works. I guess one thing you can also do is use Countdown the Crush at the start before starting a battle, and if it goes off, it'll automatically destroy any enemy you want, so that can also be nice. If you know there's a big battle coming, you can use that as well. Anyways, we've done the first part of this. Unfortunately, we don't get a respawn right away. That's because, like later games, this game runs on a turn cycle, or I guess mainly an enemy cycle. Previously, when we were going to battle enemies in other areas, normally it would be pretty easy to just walk out, reset the area, and come back a little bit later. And that would let us finish the challenge right away, but that's not the case. instead, we have to actually fight these enemies. Since there's only one, you can just run into this guy and we can take them out. So, probably the fastest way to do this part is run in, take the initial path. Don't go the right side path. I don't believe there's even any Seedles down here. In fact, I'll just show you. I think this is just where the main dude is usually. Yeah, I think this is what. Yeah, this is where. I think this is where we met the elder dude. I think that's all it is. So if we go here early, we won't find any enemies here. Interesting, we didn't get that art beam despite going for the entire game looking around. God, we only now just discovered that. And the stash beam too. If only we had those in there, who knows? Could have happened. Maybe Final Battle would have been easier. Okay, I will say that Final Battle did feel a little bit on the easy side, except for like the initial start of it. I think it was mostly fairly straightforward. By the way, if we were on the other later games, the only difference is you wouldn't have to even do any of these shenanigans. You just would take out everything in one hit automatically. So all you would have to do is, if you fail the first strike, just run away and keep trying it until it works. That's faster than fighting the enemies, and you can just keep first striking them, taking them out immediately, and you can just keep doing that indefinitely. As long as you come to Rumble Island, you can make it work. Of course, you still need a really high level for it, and if you are going to do it, I recommend waiting until the Glom Ray attacks, which I think is like, basically when you go to Zaka Castle, things get messed up the first time, so before you go to Zaka Castle, usually make sure you get this achievement done so you don't take forever to do it. Challenge. By the way, the challenges are kind of like the achievements of this game, in case you haven't noticed. That's why I've been talking about them so much. But yeah, doing it this way, you can still work, it's just not nearly as good. But yeah, it's literally that simple. All you do is go here, then you go back to Rumble Island. Each time you do, by the way, make sure you heal and save the game constantly. If you don't, bad things could potentially happen if you're struggling with the game. So make sure you are healing and saving each time you come here. This is just so you don't have to redo any battles later. Alright. Otherwise, though, we pretty much are just gonna take the same route every time. Just go to the right, then go up top, but don't go fully up top. Then just go to the right, and you'll find most of the enemies you need to face there. You can just kind of fight them off. It really is not much else you have to do. See if he healed or not. Alright, let's just do this. Make sure they're dead. You don't have to use the special attacks, obviously. I just use them because I want to make sure I take out everything as fast as possible. My one way I recommend speeding these up is with Auto Excellent. So, yeah, if you're struggling, you should probably put Auto Excellent on. If you're going to use Connectar to do quick attacks, don't use it in the normal one. Unless you're really good at the game, like deal with the moving around constantly. Don't use it, because the attack doesn't nearly last as long. It's actually quite fast if you have Auto Excellent on, so only use that attack Connector if you're using Auto Excellent. Done correctly, though, that is an alternate way you can do the battles. In fact, before we leave, I will show you 5 individual battles just using Connect. Instantly smash the enemies, because that is by far the best way to do with them quickly. And it works really well against groups of enemies. You'll still have to dodge the triple attacks, though. course, once you start getting to the later parts, if you are still struggling with the battles, whenever your initial attack runs out, I recommend just not even putting on the Surprise Iron Ball and Boom attacks. They don't actually really do much. I guess maybe they do a lot because of their view, but like, it's not really worth it. It's probably better than I need to put on Damage Shield, still have Glom Guard, switch that to the Auto Amperi, and then have easy counters so you can dodge the enemies a bit easier. That way you don't take as much damage. If you're still struggling, then you'll probably want to also put on Protectus and combine that with Charge Bank. That way, whenever you can take 6 hits of damage instead of just 3, and that'll make it work better. Heck, if we had this when doing the bomb attack, we would have made that a lot better. So note to self, maybe I should get that ability first. Got it. Anyway, that's all there is to it. But yeah, if you're struggling, one thing you can also do is just use this to instantly take them out. And the reason why we're doing this is because, as you might notice, the bomb attack doesn't always count. Later on, if you get enough gear, you might be able to take them out and are able to overcome their big defenses. But without gear, it's probably impossible to do. Because the way the actual damage is typically calculated is based off of your jump or hammer attack damage. Hammer on power, that's not the best. Anyways, we'll use this. Wow. So even then, we can sometimes survive. Of course, it's kind of funny. It's still random if they survive. If they do survive, all you really need to do is just make sure you use anything that isn't auto-excellent, so you don't waste the attack on a jump, and then you can just use a jump to finish them off. I don't know why. Maybe I should be going to a different area. I didn't think that these guys were super tanky, but still, Rumble Island is the easiest island to go to. It also has the simplest route and the most main enemies we can deal with right now, but that's obviously not the best setup. So you know what? I'm gonna show you a little bit of the route, but other than that, I'm not gonna show much else. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna even switch out. I actually got a different idea. So, Rumble Island is the easy strategy, but there is actually yet a faster strategy you can do that actually makes this go even faster. For that one, however, you're not gonna go to those basic islands. Instead, you're gonna rotate between Rumble Island, the one I just mentioned, and then head to this island instead. This is Lotsakoid's Island. You probably remember this as the island where we had to go through and do that big city area. Well, one of the frequent enemies we can face here has the most enemies in battle by far, but because it has more enemies, that also means it's a bit riskier and can be very dangerous. So whatever you do, make sure you do not this up if you intend to play it, or else it'll get very messy. I also like grinding here anyways, because as you see, we keep getting this creepy theme, which I don't really like. But if you go here, you actually get normal music for once, which is nice. This is one of the only places in the game where we still get to keep the normal music, and hardly anyone's glommed here too, so it's fun to go around. But anyway, that's more or less the jib side. The main reason we're going here though is if we go in this loop and charge around enough, we'll eventually find more of those weird soldier fans, and those soldier fans, actually, there's a lot of them in total that we could just defeat very quickly. It's not how I wanted to start the battle, eh? So, is it? Yeah. But yes, theoretically, we could just fight a lot of these enemies. forgot to run it like that. Happens sometimes. We're still gonna attack the enemies like we did before, except we're gonna actually use AoE. We would never do. Oh, I did not. Whew. Good thing I recognized that. At least now you can see how slow Connectar is. So this is why you do not want to not hold the Model Excellent on. Then you get this really slow attack animation and it takes a long time. The only reason we're even using it is because you typically need it to take out the enemies here. At least it does need here quick. Maybe Leo can do this with a different attack, but not right now. Okay, good. We can at least hit. That's a good sign. Yeah, if we do this, Clones will probably vanish instantly. Take out left him. Alright. I'll just use this next. It's not what I wanted to do, but we'll make it work. You might have noticed these battles take longer, but ideally they'll get more credit than just one through enemies. We almost messed it up because we canceled out a lot unexpectedly. Wonder if these fakes actually do count. You know, I should actually chat that. We'll use the challenge. If this doesn't work, well, I guess I should mention, if you're trying to do this, but the enemies haven't been glommed yet, this is another really great area, because there's just loads of enemies here. Alright, we have 256 right now. Let's see what happens when we actually attack them. Let's make it a first strike this time. So that's 256 right now. Let's see what happens when we just fight these. If not, we'll go back to the normal strat. But if it does work, then we should be fine. Alright, self, do not mess around. Just use auto excellent. Guess I just wasn't expecting the first attack to not even kill them before, and that's why I failed with that. You know what? We could just use auto on everything. Makes it nice and simple. It does take longer otherwise. But it does not target the right go in, so I need to. Okay, it does. Alright.
Bye-bye.
So what I'm hoping is now that it's gone up 1-1. If it's not down to 0, then I'll know not to go here. But if it does, then we might be able to save a literal ton of time by not deal with multiple of them at once. So this is what I want to know. Okay, it is just one. Okay. That's a cell. We cannot, do that. Well, this is good. I was hopeful, but yeah. Looks like we're back to Rumble Island now. You're wondering why I even went to lots of coins? That's because if you were doing the base game, lots of coins would actually be the best place to grind enemies instead. Problem is, those enemies are quite more tedious and can't always be defeated without gear, so you have to wait until the very end to do that, whereas this route I'm taking right now can be done pretty early in the game. equipment. So as long as you have a way to first strike the enemies, you can do it just fine. But here at the late game, there's pretty much only two options: Rumble Island and then defeat the initial enemies next. So yeah, not much else to say. So the fastest way to take the route, as you can clearly see, is to just use your ball, but don't try to run into the enemies with it. Jump, that's the best way you do damage. And then from there, you just kind of do different things depending on your strat. I think normally, probably the smartest strat, if you don't have this attack yet, or don't have OX for this attack, is to use Bomb Derby instead. Deal with the enemies that way. And from there, you either jump or to finish them off, even if you have to use multiple of them. When you have all this, just use this attack. And ideally, in the late game, you should be able to one-shot the encounters just like this. Don't think the hour attack quite as well. If you are going to use this more smartly, though, you may want to wait until the bomb goes off. But alternatively, if you do enough damage, you'll eventually be able to deal with them. But other than that, yes, we have to defeat enemies without wearing any wear gloves or accessories. If we have anything on, it will mess up. I'm pretty sure you know the rest of the story now. We're not going to show too much off, so we'll show off one more battle. Just show off how this attack is. Well, actually, it's a perfect battle to show off anyways, because now we can see how to deal with this when we don't have auto X on. Honestly, it's no different. In fact, probably the smarter strategy, and you can do this with anyone anyway, is to just use the bomb attack anyway. That is pretty easy once you get the setup up, and it does a little bit more damage than Yoshi does, even though you can make sure you actually take out enemies. If you are using Yoshi, make sure you attack them. Attack one of those Seedles, because they are really tanky otherwise. Otherwise, from there, it's pretty simple. I guess maybe we need a lucky hit to kill him. That's probably why it keeps failing. Alright, here's the ult strat. That is to just, again, replace this with any plug. And just jump a few times until they're dead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, they're still out there. I think they're just super tanky, that's what it is. Oh, I see. None of them can get first. Oh, there we go. We finally got rid of it. That is really annoying how tanky they are. So we just have to use 2 specials on them. So note to self, maybe I'll start using Green Shell a bit more. I thought I could just do jumps, but I think Green Shell will work better. So I think new strat, Bomb Derby, Green Shell, and that should be fine from here. Alright, so if for some reason you're still struggling with this, I'm going to show you the alt strat. I promise I'm going to cut out the rest of this video in a minute. I'm just trying to get this point across that this part is really cool. By the way, make sure you have that attack thing that states here. Get attacks back, otherwise they'll simply not work. Oh, perfect. This is actually who I wanted to hit anyway. Alright, so this is the alt strat. If you're struggling with attacks, you simply do not have auto X, or you don't have rather strategy down. The best way to defeat these enemies instead is this attack and then shell over and over again until the enemies die. It's just as simple as that. The first attack will take out most of them, and then depending on the HP left, either a jump will kill them off if they're weak enough, Or if you're struggling, just use this instead, and that'll also work. The reason why it works is because you only have to do a few hits to do this. And one thing you can also do is speed it up. Believe you'll see the enemy like glow, or I guess it doesn't do it, but if you think you've done enough damage, you can actually pull out of these attacks. This makes it end faster, but you still do a lot of damage. From there, you can just keep spamming these attacks until you take them out, and it's that simple. The only problem with this is it doesn't always kill them in one hit, but ideally that is what you would do in the other strategy, and it's also probably what you would do if you're using the lots of coins method. It's by far the fastest way of killing them. Otherwise, though, from there, it's pretty simple. We pretty much just use our boosts to go between area to area and just keep annihilating them as fast as we can. We don't wait at all. We just attack as many of them as we can, and from there, yeah, it's pretty simple. You're probably wondering why I'm even showing this video to be so long, even though we could theoretically just play. Well, that's because, like I said, we haven't gotten 100% of the challenges, and I wanted to show how to kill weird challenges and games. I bet you there are probably still a lot of videos that are really about grind. They probably don't mention the fact that when you get level 40, the grind is just really difficult. So I wanted to show you that you can do this even in any game. It's actually probably faster than the normal old strategy. The big difference is it will never be faster, I guess, because in the other strategy, all you're gonna do is just jump on them. Fail to counterattack, just all you have to do is run away from the battle and try again. You can keep doing that indefinitely until you basically get them done. But other than that, you probably know what's gonna happen. We're gonna see you guys later, and to make it simple, we will not come back until do it yourself is done. Until then, I will see you guys later. See ya. Several hours later, we are finally at the final battle, and because it took so long to get to this, we're gonna make Yoshi have his fun time. Of course, we're gonna use Yoshi. What do you expect from me? I'm cool Yoshi. To go Zen for a reason. Of course, I use Yoshi as much as I can. But yeah. It's been a long run, but we finally have defeated, perfect, right now. We finally completed the challenge, do it yourself, several hours later, and now we finally get put on our gear again. I'm not gonna lie, this was very stressful for me. On top of that, my head almost died. That was fun, I had to fix that problem. Yes, am I I am tired enough as this. Anyways, there we go. We just have to dodge this attack. Of course they're gonna dodge that. So I'll do that, and bam. We are done. That should be our last battle we have to do in this game. Because I don't want to mess up anything, you know what? Before we do anything, we're gonna keep our hugs the way they are, but we are gonna return to ship shape just so we can get a nice shot here at the end. But yeah. Other than that, there you go. That is probably the worst challenge in this game, honestly. Not just in games in general, but like in this Mario Luigi game. I'm not trying to say it's bad. No, not at all. I got a glitch, by the way. Just like we started the music, but that happens sometimes. This is not a bug, by the way. This is just a part of the game. Sometimes the music just randomly joins. I don't know why. But anyways, I came back here because I want to get a good shot. And also, I'm not going to look good if I full help, so please help me out. Thank you very much. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to just make sure we have this up, and yeah, as you can see, we have every single challenge done, every single challenge here done as well, which we did. thankfully. So we managed to get the subs, and since it's been a while, I'm gonna actually see what these are. So Mario is gonna actually get a new set of armor that I never did before. So the first is Master Boots, which I completely forgot to mention were even in this game, which boosts the damage dealt by jump attacks %. And then this one boosts the damage dealt of hammer attacks by a certain %. There are actually a couple of items that will be better, both defensive and fence-wise, but this is basically our ultimate gear, and we get this from finishing that. And then for you, I'm gonna do, I think Liberation Ware DX is best for Mario, so we'll give him that. And then I think my combo will be, where's the Last Stitch gloves? Crisis Tash and BP, but you're a KO if you are take damage. Since I'm not gonna be battling, let's do that. Let's put Last Stitch gloves on so I'll look cool. Because Mario will be built like a full damage setup anyways. And then we'll just give him the Lucky Charm. That will make him... Alright, and then for Luigi, we're just gonna do mostly normal setup here. Bring back to boots. The Sharp Cast Hammer, and then the Break Wear for his second boots. For this, we'll give him, I guess we could just get the POW gloves, but I think I'd rather give him, defense or something there. Actually, oh, I had it, no way, I had Amp Glove on him. Yeah, let's put that on. That's probably a good idea, and then he'll get the Quick Charge boots, just in case we want to charge again. So that would be cool. Come to think of it, Mario, you'll look better with the POW gloves. I just wanted to show what Last Stitch gloves are. Last Stitch gloves are basically the same gloves, unfortunately, we've already had before. It's basically the ones where you get a bunch of damage increase, but you are KO'd immediately if you take damage. Knowing me, that would never work, so... I guess that could work if you're, have... what's it called? Protectus on, but, yeah, it wouldn't matter. But, there you have it. Assuming everything's been done, we've done all the main storyline up to this point, which we also beat, to show you that. It doesn't change. We've done pretty much every side quest. And we should also have done every single challenge as well. We'll just go through all these though to make sure. If somebody for some reason thinks I missed one, you can let me know in the comments, but I think we got everything. So now going back to challenges, we have this one done, this one, as well as these. We have pretty much all the excellent ones, and just more recently now, we have Do It Yourself as well. We got that done as well. So, with this, that means we pretty much have done everything in the game, which means if I save here, which I'm actually going to take over this one now, because I don't want to waste any time doing that. Because I do that, there we go! Because there is no Star Crown, and we already shown the ending, that means, according to my guide, unless something weird has happened, we have officially 100% Luigi Brothership. We saw most of the gear upgrades. We didn't get all the gear, but we got most of it. We got every single sprite ball, because of course we had all the plugs, so otherwise we wouldn't have had that. We got as much levels as we could. We pretty much got the max weight. We didn't max our level, but we got the max rank, which is good enough for me. We did every challenge and every single side quest, which means we have now officially 100% this game, which means it is the end of our playthrough. Yay! We get to finally move on. For the next video, playthrough, I'll just see you guys later in a different setup. I will tell you though, my next playthrough is not going to be Mario, nor Pokemon, nor Nintendo really at all. It's actually going to be a completely different, unique game. I hope you enjoy it, because I heard it's a pretty chill game I'm about to play next. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So, yeah, my next playthrough is going to be quite different. It's definitely not something I'm used to doing, but I think I'll make it work. So, yeah. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.